Their favorite hobbies stopped working, not because they became lazy, because the reason changed. This story follows that change step by step. It starts with a simple morning where something feels off. It moves through a repair shop where rhythm returns in a different way. It visits a quiet courtyard that feels empty at first and then becomes a real room. It walks a hallway of mirrors where old roles are named and lose their power to shout. It pauses at a small table where a goodbye is calm and kind. And it ends in a workshop where the first brushstroke does not try to impress anyone. The goal is practical, to show how meaning moves from performance to presence, to make it clear that losing interest is not a collapse but a reorganization, to give you a few checks you can actually use. Does this steady the spine? Does this widen the breath? Does this make the room more honest? If that question already lives in them, this path will look familiar. If it does not, the steps are still simple enough to try. The morning is bright and even. The window is open a little. Street sounds arrive as a soft layer. A bicycle bell, a delivery cart, two voices passing by and then gone. He lifts the instrument he used to love because that is what mornings like this used to mean. Warm up, a short run-through, then a longer session that made hours disappear. The first note is clean. The second is also clean. But the space between them is thin, like air that lost a smell it used to have. He stops and listens not to the sound but to their body. Their hands still know the path along the strings. Their shoulders do not want to follow. He tries something different, an exercise he always considered boring but useful. Slow scales, patient shifts, careful bowing. The notes behave. He arrive on time. He stack into the right shape. The result is correct and also empty. He look around the room as if a reason might be hiding in a corner. On the shelf, a row of programs from concerts, a few medals, a framed photo from a night when the stage lights felt like proof. None of these make them smile today. He are not ashamed of them. He are not angry at them. He are simply heavier than he used to be. He try a different piece, something that used to pull feeling out of them whether he agreed or not. It doesn't. It stays polite and distant, like a guest who came early and has nothing to say. He put the instrument down and let the room be a room. He opened the lower drawer of the desk. Ticket stubs lie there in a small porcelain bowl. A ribbon lies across a stack of notebooks, the kind of ribbon that keeps pages from forgetting where the last good sentence was. He take one notebook and read a paragraph from last year. It is full of energy. It is also trying very hard. The paragraph promises a list of projects and outcomes and posts and proofs. It sounds like someone running inside their chest. He closed the notebook and set it aside. He do not feel loss. He feel confusion. Confusion is quieter than loss. It asks smaller questions. Is the skill gone? No. Is the routine broken? Not really. Is the feeling missing? Yes. He make tea because tea is a good way to wait. Steam curls up and disappears into the regular morning. While the water cools, he tried to remember the last time he felt real joy in the practice. A few months ago, maybe a little longer. There was a good day then and a few after it, and then a stretch of days that felt like he were doing a perfect copy of themselves. He drinks slowly. The taste is clear and a little flat, like the notes were. He think about stopping for a week, then two. He think about forcing a schedule. He think about posting an update to say back soon. He do none of these. He stand at the window and let the street speak at its own volume. A neighbor pushes a stroller. A dog decides to sit down and then immediately decides to stand up again. Two pigeons argue over a spot on the railing and then both leave. The world is doing what it always does. It does not need to be impressed. He say one quiet sentence out loud to check how it fits in the room. The problem is not strength. The problem is motive. The sentence fits. It is not a solution. It is a handle. He tests the handle with a small experiment. He play a single note and hold it. He listened to the end of the note as carefully as the beginning. The end is softer and more honest. It does not promise anything. It does not try to carry more than itself. For a moment, the room feels a little more like a place where life could happen without a show. He put the instrument away, not as a punishment, not as a threat, just as a decision. The next step will not be a longer session that repeats the same emptiness. The next step will be something that changes the reason he play at all. He cleaned the table. He put the notebooks back. He leave the ribbon where it is because the ribbon can do its small job without being a symbol. He write 3 lines on a simple card and tape the card near the window, where the light will see it in the morning. The card says, "Do not chase the old feeling. Listen for the new reason. Stop when the room gets honest." He read the card once. He feel how quiet the room is when it does not have to applaud. He breathe out and feel the breath reach the floor. He put on their shoes and take the pocket watch from the dish by the door. It has been stopping and starting lately. He have been ignoring it. Now it feels like the right time to ask why. On the way down the stairs, he realized the morning has not been a failure. It has been a test. It showed that pushing harder in the same direction will not return the missing part. It showed that a working hand is not the same as a willing heart. It showed that joy cannot be rented with effort when the contract was written with validation. He stepped into the street. The air is clear. The walk to the watch shop is short. The bell on the door is the same bell that was there when he were a child. It sounds like a small approval from time itself. He think one more simple thought before he pushed the door. Maybe the watch will explain something the instrument could not. Maybe what looks broken is only refusing an old bargain. Maybe the right fix is not more speed, but a different kind of fuel. He opened the door, and the morning changes shape in a way that is both small and exact. He are still the same person. He are also someone who is willing to change the reason. If the color fades when applause is gone, the engine probably needs different fuel. The watchmaker knows about engines that live inside small, careful things. The bell over the watch shop door made a small sound when he entered. The air smelled like metal, oil, and old wood. Glass cases held pocket watches and wristwatches in neat rows. On the back wall, a simple clock moved with a calm second hand. Nothing in the room rushed him. The watchmaker looked up from a velvet tray. He wore a magnifying loupe on one eye. His hands were steady in the way that comes from doing one kind of work for a long time. "Show me," the watchmaker said. He took the pocket watch from his jacket and set it on the pad. "It runs," he said, "then stops, then runs again. I wind it like always, but the rhythm won't stay." The watchmaker turned the crown and listened. He did not listen only to the tick. He listened to the space after the tick. Then he opened the case with a small knife he kept hidden in his palm. He lifted the back plate and set it aside. "See this," the watchmaker said. He pointed with tweezers at the mainspring, a thin steel coil. "There's a scratch here. It's not broken. It is resisting the old bargain." The word bargain surprised him. "What bargain?" he asked. "The bargain of speed for meaning," the watchmaker said. "You ran it on fast fuel. Fast fuel asks for applause. It burns bright and ends quickly. This spring remembers that style. Now the rest of you does not want that speed, so the watch keeps saying no." He watched the watchmaker remove the damaged spring. The movement looked simple and careful, no wasted motion. The new spring waited on a square of paper. The paper was so thin it looked like breath. As the watchmaker installed the new spring, he spoke without looking up. "People think a watch is broken when it refuses to keep up with their rush. Often the watch is fine. It's the rush that is wrong." "What is the other fuel?" he asked. "Slow fuel," the watchmaker said. "Not sugar, oats, not fireworks, a pilot light. It takes longer to feel strong, but once it's steady, it stays." He checked the balance wheel, gave it a tiny push, and the circle began to move. He closed the case, wound the crown, and placed the watch on the pad. "Listen," he said, tick, space, tick. The sound was soft, but it did not waver. The space between ticks felt like a place to breathe. He noticed his shoulders drop without trying. "What changed?" he asked. "The reason changed," the watchmaker said. "You used to wind this for proof. Now you want it for presence. The machine will accept that if you do." He smiled a little. It helps to respect the pause. He looked around the shop while the watch kept time. On one wall hung old concert tickets in simple frames. Next to them was a photo of a younger watchmaker holding smaller tools. Above the bench, a child's note said, "For when time gets loud." "What does that mean?" he asked. "When life shouts, listen to something quieter," the watchmaker said. "The quiet thing is usually telling the truth." He tapped the watch lightly with the back of a tweezer. The rhythm held tick, space, tick. He paid, thanked him, and put the watch back in his jacket. At the door, he paused. "What if the rhythm fails again?" he asked. "Check the fuel before you blame the spring," the watchmaker said. "Ask 3 simple questions. Does the thing you're doing steady your spine? Does it widen your breath? Does it make the room more honest? If yes, keep going slow. If no, you are asking for speed to do the job of meaning again." Outside, the street felt different even though nothing had changed. He walked without planning how to describe the walk later. He did not take out his phone to record the watch sound. He let the rhythm be a rhythm. Validation had been his fast fuel for a long time. Likes, applause, quick proof that today counted. Fast fuel had helped in some seasons. It was not evil. It was just not enough for now. Presence was slower. Presence was not a show. Presence was a way to be there while doing the thing. At the corner, he waited for the light and listened again. Tick, space, tick. He could feel the difference between hurry and pace. Hurry pushed from behind. Pace walked beside him. He thought about the instrument at home. He saw what had happened more clearly. The notes were fine. The motive was not. He had asked the music to prove he was still worthy. The music had refused the bargain. He did not feel shame when he noticed this. He felt relief. Relief that had a simple plan inside it. Change the reason. Let the rhythm change with it. He turned toward the library instead of going straight home. He did not need more noise. He needed a wider room for the new fuel to run in. A room that did not ask him to be impressive. A room that did not ask anything at all. On the library steps, he slowed. Families passed by. A student balanced a stack of books with both arms. A custodian pushed a cart with rags and a quiet radio. Everyone had their own pace. He checked the watch once more. Tick, space, tick. He put it away and felt the same rhythm in his chest. Not faster, not louder, just steady. He thought of a small set of rules and said them in his head. Before starting a practice, check the breath. Midway, check the spine. When stopping, check if the room feels more honest than before. If those checks pass, the practice can be small and still be right. He opened the door, walked through the reading room, and found the back exit that led to the courtyard. He did not know yet what he would do there. He only knew that quiet would help the new fuel catch. He pushed the door to the courtyard. The hinges made a low sound. He stepped into light and green shade. The air was simple. Here is a concise closing reflection plus a gentle CTA that fits the he narrative and your simpler tone. He had not lost passion. He had outgrown a motive. Fast fuel asked him to be seen. Slow fuel let him be here. The pause was not a fault. It was part of the mechanism. When the reason changed, the rhythm returned. Meaning moved from outcome to contact. This is how interest comes back in a way that can last. If one line helped you, write it in the comments with the words "sacred quiet." If a small practice appeared, comment "for 7 days I will" and finish the sentence. If you want more story and thought in this style, you can subscribe to Infinite Insights. If someone you know is in a quiet season, share this with them. When meaning leads, interest returns at a human pace.